Hey all, headed into the deep end today. This is Chris St. John here, architect and dev, doing AI dev tips for you. I'm going to make it a little bit more complex today, hit some scenarios in Gherkin format that are a lot more advanced and will get us getting into advanced database queries with ChatGPT. AI Dev Tips is a new tutorial series aimed at increasing developer productivity, maximizing talent, minimizing tedious tasks by using ChatGPT and other AI tooling techniques. Don't miss out. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, share this with your colleagues and friends. Today we're going to hit some more advanced queries, including window functions, which are like SQL functions that can perform calculations across a set of rows, often used for analytics. CTEs, common table expressions, those are temporary result sets. Recursive CTE. We're going to look at some JSON functions so that we can output JSON results. And just generally look at some subqueries. Those are nested queries that are within a larger SQL query. We can do some fun things with those and get more advanced. And don't forget, this is brought to you by
Instantiate.io, AI tools to brainstorm, organize, and advance a successful startup. Go to Instantiate.io. Over 50 AI tools to help develop your business plan. Track your progress. No coding required, just put in your ideas. Organize, save, advance AI results into your startup plan. Sign up is free, easy, and fast. Go check it out.
Just a reminder, we've previously done several videos on getting this database set up, getting the schema out of ChatGPT, adding in fake data from ChatGPT. We created additional queries as well of different types. Here we see what some of our fake data looked like. You can learn more in previous videos about this. So picking up back from the previous video when we started to get more complex about the expenditures users were making, we're going to get a little bit more detailed here and rank the users based on their total expenditure. When I request a total expenditure for each user, then I should receive a ranked list where each entry contains a user ID and their rank based on total expenditure from highest to lowest. You can see that this may be important for an analytics feature. We can copy and paste that right into ChatGPT. However, in this case, we are going to mention that we're looking for a window function. Remember that a window function is an SQL function that performs calculations, often used for analytics purposes. Calculations across a set of rows and returns a single output row. And we see here that we get a response back from ChatGPT. And for most people, it would take a little bit of extra time to figure out how to make this type of SQL query. But isn't it nice that we just get this back right away? I think this is very cool. After I'd already inputted the prompt, I remembered, I want the nicer username. So I just put in, can you add the username? We put that into pg-sql.com, and we do see the results as we expect. So next we're going to retrieve books priced above $100. When I request a list of books where the price is greater than $100, then I should receive that list. Next, we're going to have another scenario, and we're going to take kind of a simple common table expression just to see what it looks like. We're going to retrieve books priced above $100. When I request a list of books where the price is greater than $100, I should receive a list containing only items with those. I actually decided to modify this because I didn't get any results with the 100, so I took it to 80, and we see that it's working. Let's do a more complex scenario that is time-based, because this is something that you may need sometime to count items created, or books in this case, between January 1st, 2022 and January 10th, 2022. When I request count of books between that time range, then I should get a corresponding list of books. And here we see we get a really interesting query back, and this would be pretty complex for most people to just kind of come up with, unless maybe you're a database expert already. But we get a recursive CTE and named date series, generate a series of dates from. Funny thing is, when I put this in, it actually did give me an error because the union, I should say, has to have the same data types on the timestamp. So I did go back to ChatGPT and just try to figure out what the problem was, and it did find the error right away and correct it. We see here that it does give me a slightly different timestamp. And we see here we do get a count of books created in that time frame. We can also return user data from the database as a JSON object. And to do that is really easy when you're working with ChatGPT, but otherwise it might be a more complex query for you. Another thing is aggregating all books by an author. I just put in aggregate all books by an author into a JSON array. But let's see what it looks like to get the result for the user ID, username, email, and created at as a JSON object. And now let's aggregate all books by an author into a JSON array. So this goes ahead and gives us back a list of the authors, and each author has the list of the books that they would have done. They're all only one, but you can see it is an array. Okay, so now let's try to get the top 3 authors who have the most expensive average book prices and list their most expensive book along with its price. Oh boy, take a look at this query. I don't think I would have been able to come up with this very quickly for sure, and probably would have taken a lot of wrong turns along the way. We calculate the average price for each author, go through a query with that, and then we find the most expensive book for each author, and then finally we find the top 3 authors based on average price. There's a lot to digest here. Take a look at this, and this is probably a good one to just kind of ponder on and learn a little from. When you break it down though, it makes a lot of sense and it is very clear. Nevertheless, especially for somebody who's not a database expert, doing something like this would be time consuming. Of course, I want to clarify here that ChatGPT does make errors and you cannot just blindly paste this in to anything production, of course. You should do code review, you should do testing, and you should look at multiple options available to doing this. In fact, you might even want to ask ChatGPT, how else can I do the same thing? We seem to get a good result, but double check for performance and code legibility. So some more tips and improvements. We see that AI and ChatGPT can handle some more sophisticated and complex queries. And I like to use these more for development, more for brainstorming, prototyping, and then definitely share with other experts in whatever area you're looking at, whether a database analytics expert, get a second opinion from them, do code reviews. Like I said, also ChatGPT can be asked to redo the same thing and to try it a different way. If you're not a database expert, you could then take several variations, things you fine-tuned a little bit, and share that with colleagues, share that with another database expert, and get more advice. So this is just really a great tool to use. I hope you got something out of this. I'm often finding myself just asking random questions about my schema, just to see what I can do with it. Because the whole point here is you already have some talent. We just want to make that shine and reduce those tedious tasks. Get through those so that we can be more creative and have fun. And of course, make sure to visit and do the free sign up at instantiate.io. That's a way for you to quickly brainstorm ideas, organize them, and advance them for your startup with AI tooling. Think of this as your AI marketing team. Use the content for pitch decks and dealing with partners and investors.